Welcome, everybody. It's Ryan Small, founder of Epic Analysis. So, I'm going to get into Markup Monday, episode 10. I'm sorry that I'm a little late for today's video. I'm having computer problems, but let's go ahead and dive in. So, of course, like I've always like to start off the Markup Mondays is with the dollar index because the US is like the number one currency and most traded currency within Forex. So, the overall dollar index kind of just gives us a good example of how the outlook of the overall dollar can go. So as of right now, looking at the dollar index, you can see that we're in some type of choppiness trapped in right here. So right now we're struggling to break above 94 or break below 93 support. All right. Looking at it on the daily time frame, if I come to the 4 hour, you can see that there was a immediate support right here, and that's currently where the market is rejecting from. Okay, so looking at it like that, you can possibly draw a trend line from this bottom point out like this. Okay, so now it'll just be about waiting for either the opportunity you would need for this break to happen right here. If you get that break, the market eventually would need to take out this low right here. So even if it breaks and pulls up right here for the retracement, if the market fails to break back above, then we sell it. And then once we get a break right here, then more than likely we know that the market will be pushing down to this low if that were to happen. Okay, and just for the scenario in case this area, let's just say, for example, this low down here doesn't get broken, but it breaks below this trend line. If the market pushes back up and pulls back above 93, pushes back down, retests, that'll be our retracement where we find entries, and then we will look to ride it up to this point right here. Overall, the market would need to take out this resistance. If the market break up out of that resistance and then boom on that push back down, if we get a hold right there, that'll be a higher probability buy confirmation to the upside. All right, so pretty much with the dollar index, because I don't really like to jump the gun, I'm really just waiting for the market to either break below this area or hold at this area. And then for the upside move, I would love to see this area right here get broken. So even if we get a rejection in this area right here, the buys don't really look good until we break above this area right here. Once we get that break, and then on this pullback will be the confirmation if we get a hold at that pullback, and then we'll look for the rise to the upside. And then the same thing for the downside. We would need a break below the trend line for the confirmation, a push up, a break below, and then the push up would be for the confirmation if we get a hold at resistance right here, and then we look to take it down to the downside, especially if we get a break below this support. More than likely, market is going to come back down to this region down here. All right, so overall, that's what I'm going to be looking at for the dollar index. Just be patient and wait for either a breakout to the upside above 93.2 or a breakout to the downside below 92.8. All right, next pair we're looking at is gold. So gold's pretty similar. Okay, so I have a trend line drawn from this point connected to that point. So let me just redraw this real quick. So started from here, connected out. I'm skipping this point because it's too steep. So I'm starting, this is my point B right there. Draw it out to the future. Okay, let me come down to the 4 hour real quick. And some would say we have a possible head and shoulders, shoulder, head, shoulder. But even with this, the market pushed up and it's retesting this trend line area. So if the market cannot break above this area right here around 1915, if it fails to break above that resistance, then more than likely we're going to see a move back down to the downside. But overall, the market will need to break below this whole region in order for us to know that the momentum is going bearish. So if all this happens, it looks good for the sell, but overall we will need this break to happen, the retracement to happen right here, and then right here would be a great confirmation hold if we get this break, push up, and then more than likely we'll have the market push down to the downside, back down towards previous support, one of these previous support regions, either right here or down here. So yeah, overall that's what I'll be looking for with gold. If we get something to where the market can't break back above 1950, then overall I would treat this like a head and shoulders scenario. I would just need this 1900 to get broken, retested, held at at resistance, and then look for the continuation back down to the downside. All right, but now if the only way I'll start looking for buys more so is if let me see. So first, this trend line needs to get broken, but more importantly, the market needs to break above, hold, and then push up to the upside like that. So unless we get a scenario like that, I wouldn't be looking for longs. More importantly, I feel like this high right here just needs to get taken out. If the highs right here get taken out, I'm gonna be patient, wait for the pullback. If on the pullback the market holds and stays within structure, then I'm gonna be looking for the market to push up to the upside, back up to the regions of 1930 to 1950. All right, Euro USD. Start off on the daily real quick. Okay, so yeah, on the daily, um, the highs right here were just broken, barely. So my fib, I drew it from A to B. This is the retracement down here, 61.8, and then the market made another wave and made a new higher high. So this could have been the take profit already been hit. So now we have the market pushing back down to the downside. Okay, so with this, it could be two different scenarios. Let me go down to the 4 hour. Okay, so overall, these lows right here would need to hold in order for the bullish bias to stay valid. More important, yeah, I would say I would say that area right there. Yeah, so if the 1.178 support level can hold, then we possibly could see another attempt back up to the upside. But now overall, let me see. Hold on, I need this box to be a little smaller. Okay, so this support right here is a key level within the market, and then also this resistance right here is at a key level. So we're either looking for this type of move or this type of move. And I feel like all US dollar pairs are at the scenario because just think, we're about to be what NFP. You have it being the last week of the month, and we have elections next week also. So a lot of things for the US dollar are going on right now for the overall fundamental aspect. So this is why we got to kind of pay patient and kind of wait and see what the market is trying to show us. So once we understand that certain levels are broken, we know where to take the overall market. So for me, I know if the levels over here are broken, I'm gonna wait for the pullback and take my buy. I know over here, if the levels over here are broken, I'm gonna wait for the break, wait for the pullback. No, I'm probably gonna look for entries right here and then for the continuation. So it's not about always being early. It's about being patient, waiting for the market to clearly show the breakout, and then waiting to ride the overall momentum of the breakout. All right. Let me look. GBP USD. So looking at this on a daily, this is also looking still bullish at the moment. The highs right here look like they were important. The market just pushed back and retraced that. Is retesting that right now after this bullish engulfing candle that broke the highs right here also. So you possibly could draw a fib from the low up to the high like this. Price is also resting on the 50 EMA and having trouble breaking back below 130. So overall, if the market is not trying to break back below 1.300 around here, if it's not trying to break back below that, then overall we're going to see another wave to the upside, back up towards possibly 1.31. I feel like the market would need to break below this in order for the overall bullish bias to not remain valid. It needs to break below 130, and then that needs to hold that resistance. If that a scenario like that happens, then overall we look for the GBP USD to drop back down to the downside. But if that break below 130 and below this overall zone right here does not happen, then more than likely we're going to see something like that to where GBP USD moves and makes another wave back up to the upside. So really, yeah, just be patient and wait to see how price wants to react around this level. A break above, and also for the buys, a break above this level right here, a pullback will be another confirmation, something like that. All right, USD CAD, probably one of the better pairs that I'm looking at this week. So keep in mind that my markup Mondays are just overviews. I'm going to be really looking at trade scenarios Tuesday and Wednesdays. So even right here, this is one of the trades that I've, been looking at the last 2 weeks or 2 or 3 weeks. So more right now, the fib just finished for the most recent fib. So let me just rewind this. So I had it from this low up to this high. The market pushed down, hit the 72, and then boom, hit the negative 24. Also broke out of this range to the left right here, broke out of that range, and also broke out of this range right here. Okay, so seeing that and seeing that the fib is finally complete, I'm going to just redraw my fib from the most recent low up to the new high. And overall, if we can get sales back down to 1.315 region, so back down to where all these spikes at resistance were at, if we could get sales back into that region and the market to look like it's trying to show some type of bullish reversal within this region, then I would like to see a move possibly like this. So yeah, that'd be at least 100 plus pips if we could get a drop back down and then a rise up to make a new higher high. And then also that would be coming back up to this region right here. Looking at this on the daily, we just had a bullish engulfing candle. Looks like this is a double bottom. Let me just delete this real quick. Looks like we also have a double bottom down here on the daily time frame led by a bullish engulfing candle, retracement to the upside. I love for a scenario like that to happen. This would be an easy setup if we could get something like this to happen. Double bottom, bullish engulfing into a retracement into the continuation to the upside. If we break above this 1.325 level, clear above that, then I'll be waiting for another retracement. If we get that retracement and we hold, make a new lower high, then boom, I would look for, or I mean, make a new higher low. I would look for the rise back to the upside and make a new higher high like this, up towards 1.33. If we clear above 1.325, 1.32, if we clear 1.325 and then get a retracement, and then the market still looks like it's forming bullish structure, then overall I'll look to ride it up to that 1.33 region. So yeah, USD CAD is one of the pairs that I'm more so watching this week. USD CHF looks like similar to USD CAD, looks like it's just moving a little bit slower. So right now on the daily time frame, we have price holding, fell in the break below that, and then it led by a bullish engulfing candle that pushed price back above 0.907. So overall, if the market does not break back below this region right here, we're going to start to see slow waves back up to the upside, possibly back towards 0.91, 0.9150, around where this 50 EMA aligns. Look at this on the 4-hour. We have that double bottom right here. So yeah, we might get another drop overall. If the market holds above this support, then I'm going to be looking for the market to slowly make a retracement back up to the upside. AUD CHF. So looking at this on the daily, we see that the market, it pushed down after this downtrend, strong downtrend. The market pushed down and it made lows right here, and then slowly start to see a bullish rally up to the upside. All right, looking at it on the 4-hour. Okay, so on a 4-hour, we have a key resistance right here. And if the market cannot fail to, if the market fails to break above that, then overall, this is going to be the new lower high right here. Just like how this was it dropped, pushed up, made a new lower high, dropped. So this would be the new lower high if the market fails to break above this resistance. So then we would be looking the market to drop back down. In order to know when the momentum is ready, we could possibly draw a counter trend line like this. So then if the market, like I said, if it rejects from this area up here, if it rejects from the area up here, then overall, this would be the lower high. So now we would just want to wait for a break below the trend line. Once we get a break below the trend line, if the market were to give us even a slight of a pullback, that'd be a good entry. And then we will look for the market to overall push back down to these lows. All right. But also keep in mind that on the daily, the retracement looks like it could come a little bit higher. So even though this was the low right here, this was a lower high on the smaller time frame. On the daily time frame, the market could still push up to the upside and reach 0.6550 because we still have that trend line. We still have that bullish push. So I could see the market pushing up to 0.65. And then at that point, we'll be at a strong break or bounce scenario. If we get a bounce, we look for the market to push back down. We would need to eventually break back below the trend line. But if we get a break above, you would see the break, and then you would wait for the retracement. If on the retracement, the market still holds back above the trend line, then we could possibly see this pair overall switch momentum and push to the upside. But as of right now, I'm more so just looking at, let me go back down to the 4-hour. I'm just more so looking at this area right here, waiting to see if the market wants to hold here. I know for a fact if the market breaks above this level right here, we possibly could push up another 50 to 100 pips. If we reject this overall area and break below the trend line, then more than likely we're going to come revisit the lows down here. So Euro AUD. Look at this on the daily. This was another trade that I was looking at a lot the last few weeks. So yeah, this was one just like June 5th from this low up to this high right here. The market pushed down 61.8 retracement, then boom, hit the negative 24. Just like that. So right now, it looks like the market is pushing back down to retest the previous resistance. So right here, I'll be waiting to see if the market is trying to break or bounce. All right, so yeah, the market is revisiting these levels right here. So even if we get a deeper correction, we can still push up to the upside. But at these levels right here, I would say we're either going to get some type of move back up to the upside, or we're going to get a deeper retracement back down towards the 50 EMA and back down possibly towards 1.645, 1.64 support level. So yeah, I'll be watching this pair real close because overall, I mean, if we do, and on a 4-hour time frame, we also have lows a little bit higher. So yeah, if the market cannot break below these lows right here, and we get a strong confirmation of a lower high being formed, then the move to the upside will be pretty good. It'll be a lot of pips. So even if, for example, let me delete some of these. Okay, yeah. So if I draw my fib from this low up to this high, the market could possibly push down to the 72 to the 78 points 78.6 retracement. So yeah, we're either going to bounce and push back up to the highs, or we're possibly going to drop down and get a deeper retracement back down towards the 72 to the 78.6 retracement, possibly. But yeah, overall, for my bias, I would love to see eventually the market find support, even if we can't break below 1.65. Ideally, I would like to see that hold 1.65, and then I'll probably give it like a 30 pip cushion. So the 72, because this was a strong bullish move for like a whole week straight that broke above this resistance level right here. So yeah, I'm just going to wait to see more confirmation because even if the market breaks to the downside, that's still going to be a 100+ pip move. And then if it moves to the upside, it's going to be another 200, 300 pips to the upside if we get that confirmation. All right, the last pair I'm going to be looking at is Euro JPY. You could possibly draw a trend line from this low here, like that. Let me go back to the daily. Okay, yeah, so the market dropped down, found support for like 5 days, bullish engulfing, pushed back down, retested this support, bullish engulfing. Overall, the market tapped out at 1.2, at 125 resistance. That's where the market tapped out at, around that region right there. Dropped back down to 123, pushed back up, failed to break the highs, and then now the market is dropping back down. But it failed to take out this 1.235 level. So overall, now looking at it on the 4-hour, I would need the market to take out this support in order for us to remain bearish. If the market fails to break below that support, then overall we're going to see the market revisit this 124 range. But I would need that 124 to get broken above. So I would need the market to eventually break above. If we get a hold right there, then I'll possibly look for buys back up to the upside. But now if we break below, push up, retracement here, and then I'll look to write that down to the downside like that. So these are the two scenarios that I'm really waiting for Euro Jappy. So for me, I always like to give two scenarios on these like overviews or on these Markup Mondays because at the end of the day, you're prepared for either direction. You don't want to be emotionally tied to a buy or a sell because it doesn't really matter. You just want to be able to see where the market is doing and then be able to benefit based off what the market presented and what is it actually giving you. All right, so I kind of wanted to make this one a little bit faster because my computer was messed up, but I was just trying to hurry up and get this out. So this is going to be Markup Monday, episode 10, and I'm going to be hopping on a live webinar tomorrow so we can actually start looking at potential setups for the week that I'm going to be trading right then and there or, within the next 24 hours or so. This is just more so of a broad overview for the week, seeing potential setups. Tomorrow I'm going to go more in detail. I hope this video helps, and if you guys can, subscribe to the channel or find me or follow me on Instagram at Winning with Ryan. Thank you.